Azaban here for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted, as always, to be joined by Mr. Otto Wallin. Otto, been a few months. How are we doing?
Everything's been good. I was hoping to have a fight locked in now, but unfortunately not. But training and hanging in there.
You're looking very fresh. Have you just come out of the shower or come from the gym? Or...
Yeah, I just came from the gym and I just had a good lunch here, and just got ready for this.
You just mentioned there you were hoping to have a fight. I think the last time you fought was February earlier this year. So we're approaching 6 months now. But you ideally, did you want to have something locked in by now?
Yeah, I would have liked to fight this month. That was the plan, but it didn't happen. So now we're trying to lock in a fight. I'm not really sure what's going on right now.
But you definitely want to make sure you have another fight before the year ends.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would like to have two. That'd be the best.
Any particular names being mentioned?
Charles Martin has been one of them. Because he's with the PBC and there's not many guys available there right now. So he's one, and he might be the only one. And I don't know. I see him calling out Dillian Whyte, but we're trying to make that fight, but I'm not sure what's going on.
What we made of that? He's obviously made a few videos on Instagram alleging and trying to tell Dillian that, come on, I want to fight you. But what do you make of Charles Martin coming back? Obviously, he came to the UK, he lost his world title in the first round to Joshua about 5 years ago. And he's trying to make a comeback, as every fighter has the right to do so. But what do you make of his antics?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, with Dillian Whyte, I think, to me, it seems like more or less that he wants the money. That's what it seems like to me. I think that's why he's calling him out. I don't think that he would beat Dillian Whyte. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's more about the money, to be honest.
Do you think he's wasted all the money he made from the Joshua fight?
I have no idea. He should have made a good chunk there, but money can go fast if you're not spending right.
No, absolutely. Also, I really wanted to speak to you. Obviously, I know we arranged this interview a couple of days ago, but wanted to speak to you about Deonte Wilder and Tyson Fury. Obviously, the fight was 3 odd weeks away. It seemed like the fight's not going to be taking place now in January, in the end of this month. It's going to be pushed forward, or pushed back rather, to looks like maybe even October. Wow. What have you made of everything?
I don't understand it. I know that getting vaccinated is a personal choice. But if you have a big fight like that and you have a lot of people around you, I don't see why you shouldn't get vaccinated. I mean, I've been vaccinated, my whole family, my friends, my trainer, we're all vaccinated. And now they have a huge fight coming up and they are not vaccinated. I mean, to me, it's stupid. Like I said, it's a personal choice, but I still think it's stupid. It should never have happened. They should have been vaccinated, all of them, the whole camp. A little interesting to see what Barbarian is going to say about Fury now, because he went after Teofimo Lopez pretty hard when he wasn't vaccinated and he got caught with COVID. So that'll be interesting, but I think it's stupid.
Otto, obviously, I know you mentioned there Teofimo and Bob Arum going at Teofimo, but Bob Arum has come out and he has said that Fury has been vaccinated or at least taken one of the doses. But the reality is also that just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean that you can't catch the virus again. So obviously,
I mean, you can catch it. There's few cases, but it happens with every vaccine that has ever been. There's so-called breakthrough cases that you might caught it again even though you got vaccinated. It's very rare and unlikely, but I mean, I don't think his whole camp would have caught it if they were vaccinated.
What do you make of Deontay Wilder's position there? Because obviously he's been waiting quietly for the last 15, 16 months while the arbitration's been going on in the background about this fight. He's made some changes. Malik Scott, he's looks like Deonte's very focused. He didn't speak much at the press conference, and all of a sudden now there could be a 3-month delay. What does that do for mindset for a fighter?
I mean, it's hard when you've been training this time and you've been locked in on this date, and then to have it pushed back for 2 or 3 months. But it's part of boxing. It happens all the time. I think for my last fight, we had a lot of pushbacks, and the dates kept getting pushed back. But then you just have to stay focused and stay training and stay ready. I think for Wilder, maybe it could be a good thing for him, so he can have more trainer with Malik Scott and work on different things. Because it seemed like this fight came pretty quick out of nowhere, with arbitration. So it might be a good thing for him. I know that Fury, he was probably already training for Joshua when that happened. So maybe it benefits Wilder more.
What do you make of his link up with Malik Scott? Obviously, he and Mark Breland in the past. I think JDS is still part of the team, but obviously bringing Malik in, former heavyweight himself, been in there, fought some of the great fighters as well, and his experience and knowledge only can benefit Wilder.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know how much experience he has. This is the elite level, and this is huge fights. I mean, he fought some good fights before, but he's never been a trainer, from what I know. And honestly, looking at him taking a dive against Wilder before, that's what it looked like to me. And then, I mean, Mark Breland, he's a good coach. So all these excuses and blaming him doesn't look very good, I think. It's not going to be easy for Malik Scott, I think. I mean, this is, like I said, the elite level, and coming in with not much experience, it's not easy. So we see how that goes.
Or to a fight that hasn't been announced yet, but it looks like it's imminent, and it looks like it's going to be going ahead. Eddie Hearn's very, very confident. Is Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. What have you made of Usyk in the heavyweight division so far? We know he fought Witherspoon, I think it was, and then Derek Chisora. But how does he cope with the bigger guys, the bigger punchers in the division?
Great, unified world champion there. Moving up to heavyweight, he hasn't really been the same this far. Witherspoon wasn't great. Chisora was tough fight. But it's also the styles, and I think that Chisora had a really bad style for him, actually, and being a brawler and come forward guy. But Joshua, much bigger, stronger, and a big puncher. So I think that he can take Usyk out. But Usyk is a good fighter, so it's not a given. And styles makes fight. So I think it's going to be interesting.
He obviously wasn't known to be a big puncher, even though he became the undisputed cruiserweight champion. He wasn't known for being that big puncher. His skill sets did the talking for him. Can he bring those skill sets into the heavyweight division?
Yeah, it depends. It depends, because I mean, we're not sure how it looks like when he fights bigger guys. And Chisora is not the biggest heavyweight. He weighs a lot, but he's not tall. Joshua is pretty tall, so we see how that's gonna be for him. I mean, he's not known as a huge puncher, but I think that he still, he has good knockouts as a cruiserweight, and that's maybe more the skills and how he sets everything up and with good combinations.
Well, obviously, I know Eddie Hearn's spoken about Dillian Whyte coming to the US for his next fight, maybe his next 2 fights. I think they're looking at August, end of August, and maybe towards the end of the year. A few names have been mentioned by Eddie, nothing concrete yet, but is that a fight you may entertain one day?
Yeah, that is. I don't think we heard anything from them. I think that my name might have been thrown around, but I haven't heard anything, at least. Maybe my team, but I don't think so. But yeah, of course, Dillian Whyte is one of the better guys out there, and if it makes sense, yeah, then we can do it.
What happens in that fight if you fight him?
I think that I have a bad style for him. Honestly, I think I have a bad style for many guys. I'm a southpaw. I'm tricky and smart fighter, and I have some tools that not everybody has, I would say.
No,
So I think I can beat him. Yes.
another heavyweight fight taking place this month. Joyce and Carlos Takam. Carlos Takam obviously has been around, fought some of the great fighters of today's times. What do you make of that fight?
I think honestly that Takam is a perfect style for Joyce. I think that, smaller, a little shorter, and Joyce, he's big guy and just keep throwing punches all the time. So I think that's a good style for Joyce. But it would be interesting too to see him in there with Takam. But I honestly feel like Joyce is gonna stop him.
No, absolutely. Otto, I'll end with this. Obviously, next month we see the return of a legend of the sport, a man who's an 8 division champion of boxing, Manny Pacquiao. You think he's finished, and next minute he's back again. He's coming back, but he's not fighting any standard or normal fighter. He's fighting probably, arguably, the best fighter in the division in Errol Spence. It's a fascinating fight and a fascinating matchup. What do you make of, firstly, Manny and his age and continuously still fighting at the top level?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of respect for that. It's not like he's coming back fighting a YouTuber. He's fighting maybe, the best fighter out there. And Errol Spence, really good. So I think it's going to be tough for Manny. But I mean, if Manny can beat him, that shows that it's incredible what a career he's had. And but I think it's going to be tough. I mean, I think Errol Spence is very good and strong and smart fighter. So I think that Errol Spence is going to win, but you never know with Pacquiao.
We know obviously Pacquiao, he fought Broner, and people were expecting a close fight, but Pacquiao won that quite convincingly. He then beat Keith Thurman as well, took his O away. Would it surprise you at all if Manny beat Errol? Would it surprise you?
It would surprise me a little bit, but you can never count him out. He's been around for forever, and he's so good still. So he can do it, but yes, I'll be a little bit surprised. I would expect Errol Spence's youth to be, to win him the fight.
No, absolutely. Okay, I'll say anything else you'd like to add before we end?
Not too much. Yes, thanks for having me, and thanks for everybody that's supporting me.
No, thank you for always giving us time. Every time I text you, you never decline. You always, quick response. Yes, we'll do one. So I always appreciate you, champ.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Otto, and we'll hopefully catch up with you as soon as we hear some fight news about yourself. Otto Wallin, IFL TV. Thank you very much.